Well, boys, here we go again. It is Thursday, September 11th, 2025, and that means one thing. Borderlands 4 has finally released. After making my last video, I just had one thing on my mind for the last few days. How is this shit gonna run? It was a bit of a nightmare finding out that you get 60 FPS at 4K maximum settings with DLSS on. It's really funny because after everyone noticed this, Gearbox came out and said, "Don't worry guys, we got a day one patch coming, it'll fix optimization, it'll be looking smooth and fine." You see, I didn't get to start playing this game till about noon today because I got some pretty dog shit internet. But anyways, after I finally got that dealt with, I started up the game and was hit with the classic compiling shaders. And so, what else is there to do while your game is compiling shaders? Well, check out what everyone has to say about this game. Oh wow, oh boy, who would have ever guessed that the day one patch didn't fix everyone's issues? You know, I really wanted to hold off on talking about this because the console version doesn't come out for another 6 or so hours, but I just couldn't help myself because this is such a disaster. I am praying that you console folks get at least 60 FPS steady, but one can dream. I mean, I don't even want to think about what the Switch 2 version's gonna be like. That is disgusting. But before I get started on how my fucking journey went, because it was pretty bad, I want to talk about something serious. Frame generation doesn't generate real frames. Whether you're using DLSS 3 or FSR, it doesn't even matter. This is a technique that uses motion vectors and AI prediction to insert fake frames between the real ones. They're not real frames, it's just a prediction. These don't account for any input at all, and it makes you feel sluggish. The input delay is terrible. It feels like you're floating around. Now, frame gen itself as a concept isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can be a niche touch-up thing to make your game look slightly better, but now we are in a real scary state where games are pretty much being built around it. Frame gen is not an acceptable form of optimization. It's not performance, it's just faking it, to be honest. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help reduce your GPU load. It doesn't help your CPU on bottlenecking. It does nothing except add an extra number. So, how does my game run? Well, we arrived at the character creator screen. If you can't tell, I'm getting about 25 FPS right now. This is on maximum settings, FSR full resolution, and 0 frame gen. Now, you would think that during a cutscene you would get more than 25 FPS, but that is not the case for this game. I don't even know how this happens. I'm no game dev, but throughout the game, yeah, 30 FPS cutscenes, even if you have your frame gen on. I ended up turning it on because it was so bad, and it doesn't do anything. I don't know what causes this, but it is terrible. It is hard to watch. And so after the cutscene, here I was, given free reign, and yeah, 29 FPS. And so I figured I should give the frame generation a shot, and I did, but I was also met with, whoa, wait, 60 FPS? You see, doesn't that look much better? Oh boy, it totally doesn't feel like I'm trying to control a ride-on lawnmower right now. Alright, well, let's just try quality. We'll put the settings on very high, and then we'll give this a shot. Oh yeah, the 56, 58 FPS? Nice. And I can tell you, it doesn't look as great as what we just seen, but it sure as hell feels a lot better. And by a lot better, I mean awful. It still feels like you have 2 millisecond delay, maybe even 4 to be honest. And so now let's put it on balanced, and I'll put the graphics on high. There we go. Now, you see, this feels pretty good. This is about 80, 70, 77, 80-ish FPS. Now it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad at all. It's running fairly good, I guess. Let's be real though, 80 FPS on high with balanced FSR is just awful for a game that looks like this. And so, let's turn on the frame generation. Let's see what this does here. Oh boy, oh wow, 156. Isn't it just crazy how that works? You flick one switch on and boom, so many frames. I ended up settling on very high balanced, which got me around 70 FPS. And I could turn on the frame gen, and I was rocking around 110. So I'm gonna assume that if you have a PC that is a lot worse than mine, you're gonna have a bad time. None of my friends can get past the start menu. When you quit and restart, it doesn't close the original instance, and it still uses full memory. It doesn't matter how good the game is, AAA devs deserve low reviews on their games until they can learn to release working titles. Indie devs release working titles, but multi-million-dollar companies can't? Pathetic. True, brother, true. So many games this year have been so unoptimized. I mean, Monster Hunter Wilds was such a mess. How has this year been so ass? Terrible, terrible performance, worst I've ever seen. Turned it down to low graphics preset and couldn't hit 60 FPS, even with upscaling on. We know PC optimization can be a bit tricky, so we'd like to help you. If you're experiencing game-breaking problems, take a look at our troubleshooting guide on Steam here. If you need further help, please reach out to support. Oh my lord, they had the gall, the audacity to post this reply. Yeah, Gearbox, we know that you know PC optimization is tricky. Maybe try troubleshooting, because we know your game runs like shit. Why do they even bother replying at all? This is so funny. Also, 60 FPS? What are you doing wrong there, bozo? You just gotta turn your frame gen on and it's all good. You'll see that number go to like 160. I'm running a 4090 and dipping into the 40 FPS range on medium settings. I'll update my review when they fix the optimization. I have a 7900 XTX and a 7800 X3D and I have 50 FPS. This needs to be addressed. Unacceptable. We are working to continue on ways to optimize and improve the Borderlands 4 experience. Ah, classic. The release it now for money and fix it later when we need more money. Borderlands 4 Day 1 patch has key improvements and optimizations, but PC players should have realistic performance expectations, says Randy Pitchford. AKA, it's gonna run like shit and you'll like it anyway. I need to get back to my money bath. So, Bitchford expects me to drop 70 pounds on Borderlands 4 for a game that only manages 60 to 70 FPS with frame gen enabled? Whoa, it's really bad for this guy. Also, why is it so demanding in the first place? It's not even that impressive visually. Cyberpunk or Stalker 2 look light years ahead, both in tech and art, and they still manage to run better. Man, it's such a disaster considering how many people are excited for this game, and half of them, if not more, just can't even run it. Unoptimized and horrible. Already refunded, as it doesn't run beyond 20 to 30 FPS. For players experiencing Nope, we are done. I'm so tired of this. I'm not listening to any more PR developer responses. It is terrible what's been happening today. I'm pretty annoyed with all this dog shit PR developer responses, so I'm not going to read any more because that alone makes me just so angry. Why don't you just say nothing? People are just so unhappy, and for good reason. This is... it's just so unacceptable. I was really hoping I was going to be wrong. I was praying that Day 1 patch was going to be good. And I was hoping that the garbage footage we were showed was because the game was being streamed. But oh boy, I was so wrong, and yeah, that's just how it is, I guess. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. Which sucks, because my first impressions of the game are quite good. Even though some AI is terrible, it's been fun so far. The writing so far has been okay. It's nothing like Borderlands 3, but, you know, it's also nothing really like Borderlands 2. But I don't want to talk about the game. I want to finish it before I decide to talk about it, because I'm only 3 hours in, and I don't want to say the game sucks or the game's great without at least finishing this story. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Have you been playing? Are you having issues? Do you think the game's great? Let me know what you're thinking. Just don't brag about your fake frames because they're not real and they're terrible. But yeah, what a shameful, terrible launch. I'm gonna go play the game now, hopefully finish it in a couple days. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. I appreciate it. But I'll see you later.